Brunner.
What's going on, Miami Valley? I'm Gary.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are here to give you this week's Brunner's Bits. And today we're going to talk about how we at Brunner's Lawn and Services find new team members. What do you think, Andy?
It's an ongoing struggle.
I'm sure it's
We're
ongoing.
not the only one,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm quite positive. So the current labor pool right now in Southwest Ohio, folks, is about as deep as a kiddie pool at your local community splash pad. So it's like that deep. I'm dead serious. Finding a new entry-level team member who isn't asking for a gazillion dollars it's really tough.
Yeah.
To keep our company staffed, we use several different methods, and some years some methods work better than others.
We have luck 1 year with getting guys off the street, where we have people walk in that just want to apply, word of mouth. It just depends on the time of the year.
So
the year.
Today we're going to talk about 4 different methods that we use at Brunner's.
Okie dokie.
So the first method that I use, or that we use, is social media marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We use the Facebook.
We use the Facebook.
The LinkedIns. Funny thing, so I was listening to the radio on my way into this beautiful studio provided to us by Ship Lobby Studios. Did you know that from what is it, Gen Z's what's after millennials, or the whatever generation is after the millennials, the new generation, they feel that to live comfortable, they have to make $187,000 a year.
Okay.
I'm sitting here and thinking that if that's the case, why do so many people call into work all the damn time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what they're doing.
But back to the social media. So we try to do some marketing on Facebook, and it's worked. We have a production manager that we actually found from Facebook, Matt.
I was going to say, is that Matt or Jacob?
I can't remember, but I think Jacob came from Craigslist.
Oh, that's what it was. I knew one of them was.
So each year, different team members come from different things. Like we've had Noah and Dominic that came from Facebook, of which I paid to market an ad. So that's the big thing, folks. If you need an employee or a team member and you're using Facebook or other social media, you have to pay for an ad. And I'm not talking about just a boost. You have to actually go into the ad manager. Do you know what the difference between the two are, Andy?
I touch Facebook for the little reels for about 2 minutes a day.
So the difference between a boost and a paid ad is a boost is you're boosting it so that every person within your circle or their circle can see it. When you do a paid ad, it goes out and is distributed to people that have no connection to your circle.
Gotcha.
So it goes to the mass. So if you're going to market on Facebook, you have to do the ad. And that goes for like marketing for business as well. Okay. And I'm talking to everybody like I'm this expert. Believe it or not, I just learned about a month ago the difference between boosting and a paid ad. So
you're talking French to me, so
it's this. That's what you guys pay me for. Yeah. If you ask me to tell the difference between certain little types of shrubs that I've never messed with, I'm not going to be able to tell you.
What different components on one of the lawnmowers, and it's Josh like, what?
And that's what makes our trifecta as business owners work so well, is all 3 of us do different things. Like Josh, he may know some of the Facebook marketing stuff because he does a lot of marketplace
sales and things like that, selling mowers and buying golf carts.
But your ad has to also be appealing to the masses. Like if you're, and I know this from experience because we've put out some pretty boring ads. And some of the ads can be video, some of the ads can just be like a graphic. design or
pixel or what was the old clip art? Was that the old one back in the?
It is now. I think it's just a shared crap. What's that called on the internet? Anthony, what's it called when you can use different music or pictures or whatnot
Free?
that are just on the internet?
Free?
I'm gonna need more information.
I guess what's going on in my mind is not what's coming out of my mouth.
I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Well, that's a good time for us to say, if you don't pay for ads, you're going to be posting and praying. If you pay for ads, you're going to get the ad out to the market and social media. We've got employees and team members from it, so it's
been there for years and years now that are running things. I'm not
ding, 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 ding. You know what time that is, Andy?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. We go through this every time. It's time in your best Gollum voice.
Oh,
customer service corner. Let's hear it.
It's time for your customer service corner.
There we go. All right, folks. This week, we're going to discuss as to why, when you're going out to measure a new property for a proposal, you don't go out when their current vendor is on the property doing work. This is more your lane, Andy.
I mean, I find it disrespectful, in general to the other contractor. I mean, it may not be I don't know how the company works, XYZ. The people on grounds doing the maintenance may just be doing their job. In that case, they may not be like where you or I are out there doing something where it's the owner on property. But just seeing somebody else going and measuring the area that you work in every day, they may take great pride in what they do. It may be nothing in their control that we're out there if the board has asked for another proposal, board or resident. So they may not have any control over what's going on, and then it's kind of demoralizing. Like, okay, they're firing us. Great, what do we do? It can easily come back the next day. It tends to be rain days when I'm out wandering around with my umbrella and my little notepad trying to measure stuff. But
your umbrella hat,
big rainbow umbrella hat, love it. It's disrespectful in my mind. So I can always come back. There's always something else I could be doing at the time. So
we have a property right now that an unethical board member walked somebody around while we were on the property. And it wasn't just us, it was our subcontractor that was on the property. And
thankfully that he had no knowledge that was happening.
Yeah,
I would have.
I still called him and apologized to him. But at our company, we stand for integrity, dependability, and respect. And that doesn't matter if we're trying to get business or if we're passing business or if just in daily operation and daily life. And that includes respecting the people from our competitors.
We had a situation like that with another property we're going to take over next year where they said, oh, can you take over now? And we're like, you would ask them, like, are you upset with your current vendor? Then no, we'll give them their due time and notice. That don't just cancel somebody that's taking money, food off of somebody else's plate.
Especially small companies.
Right.
The company that's taking care of said property, they losing that contract is significant.
Yeah.
It's significant. So with that being said, folks, you don't walk new prospective client or contractors on a property when your current contractor's on it. And we will not go out and measure or do this and that if we see them on the property. And with that, since this customer service corner is tied to recruiting and staffing, I'm going to also say we don't poach team members from other companies either.
We had advice given to us years ago by other people that said, hand your cards out, walk up to their company, walk up to their crews, pass out cards, and that's rude.
No, we don't want people to do that to us, and I'm not going to do that to others.
And I mean, people, like I said earlier, if they really care about what they're doing in their company, you might get punched in the lip.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to and how you come at them. So it's not worth it.
And honestly, if those team members were unhappy, they'd call us, because I'm sure
Our trucks are labeled. Everybody's got numbers. Everybody has now hiring stickers, as we said.
it's a small world. People know who we are as we know who they are. So,
Right.
But folks, that's your customer service corner. You don't go out and measure a prospective new client's property if they're current vendors on the ground. So, and if I almost missed it, if you're looking for a vendor that's going to do just that, show your current contractor and you what integrity, dependability, and your respect is, give Brunner's Lawn and Services a try. You can reach us at 937-681-4859. You can visit our website at www.brunnersltd.com, or you can leave a comment in the section below.
Surfed on wow. You started that.
All right, we're gonna move on.
So,
You ready?
I'm never ready.
All right.
Just fly by the seat of my pants.
So, folks, the next way that we find team members at Brunner's Lawn and Services is through recruiting websites like Indeed and Monster. And I got to admit, for the price of an ad and the quality of team members you get from it,
I would less than enthused.
it's one of those folks that you got to do it,
Right.
because if you need people, you never know where they're going to come from.
Schedule 12 interviews and 1 or 2 show
Well, you
up?
know, on my handy dandy card, that is one of the things I have on here is the problem with these is most people don't show up for their interviews. And and now this is just me speculating. And pure speculation, this isn't fact, it's pure speculation that people go on Indeed when they're on unemployment because they have to apply for so many jobs. And since we're in a digital age, applying through Indeed counts.
Well, that very well might be the case.
So with that, if you're just unemployed, you got to apply for so many jobs. They'll apply, set up the interview, make everything all cool. It's not like unemployment's in the interview office, so they can just pretty much say, "Oh, they just didn't hire me."
Mm-hmm. Well, it's easy when you didn't show up.
Well, that's why I make it a point in the comments on Indeed that I put they did not show up for interview. But there's more than just Indeed. You got Monster, you got ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter is one I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
If you don't want to get into the industry that we're in, the beautiful lawn and landscaping industry, the green industry, you can go to usajobs.com. So veterans out there, if you're getting out of the Army and or the military in general, and you just so happen to go in this 4 minutes on this boring video that you're probably thinking of, you can go to USA Jobs and get a job at the base. And here in Dayton, Ohio, we have Right Pat.
Yep.
I got offered a job there, significantly
French made?
Oh yeah, you imagine me in a French maid outfit.
No. Thankfully, I don't get mental images like that.
That's a TikTok video.
Woo, buddy.
So there, like you said, there are some problems with the Indeed and all that, but nonetheless, there's really nothing else to say. You can't pass them because it's a
No,
way.
you never know you never know if somebody's going to come through the door and be a perfect fit.
I will give a little plug for Indeed. One thing that Indeed has done for us that's been like hands down phenomenal is since all of our competition posts on there, you can see what they're paying. So therefore we can adjust our wages accordingly. And folks, if you're looking for a job, don't always believe the ads either. Some of them say, "Oh, it's $20 an hour." Yeah, $20 an hour with 20 years experience. They may only start you at 15. That's how some of the fast food joints get you.
Or you're only getting 20 hours and
Yep.
you're making that, but it equals out.
Yep. So there's ways that companies fudge their wages, but nonetheless, Indeed has been a good source for us to find out what average wages are, and I have found that our company we're right around where we should be.
There you go.
But with that, you can use Indeed, you can use all of those. That's just one other way, and it is time to move on. You haven't said it yet.
No, I'm not going to.
You want to.
Oh, every time it flies.
You want to. You said it best at the very beginning. Another great way to get team members is by word of mouth
Yeah.
and referrals. And
Yep. Everybody's got a buddy that, needs a job. Like, hey, well, come in here.
we've had whole families.
Well, yeah.
And apples don't fall far from trees.
Yeah, I can think of a couple there that were definitely like, okay, you sure you're not brothers? Like your father and son, but okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, really, when you think about it, I can think of 3 families right off the top of actually 4. Kev and Cam, Tyson and Tyson, Chris and Mitch,
Oh yeah, okay.
and then the Zitteroffs.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah. There you go. It's all family.
And every single one of them at one point or another were very key team members with our company.
Yep.
And right now we got people that work for us that were word of mouth, like Dustin from Rob.
Yeah, Dustin from Rob. Yep.
Dom was from Noah.
I think they came as a
No, it started off Noah. Dom started like 2 weeks later.
That's true because he was working at Pizza Hut.
Yes.
There you go.
So that word of mouth is great. BNI. When I go to BNI, if we're hiring, I'll say that we're hiring.
And we've had other people that we work with outside that like, you need to put my son to work for the summer. He owes me money, or he needs to know what manual labor is. Like, all right, come on, you're going to rake up bush trimmings and clean up behind my crews.
We've brought in team members from my church, friends of mine, family members. Never again, but family members of mine. You just never know. You never know. We used to do a referral bonus, but I found that it didn't make a difference whether we did or we didn't. And I want to say a year ago, we had a couple that worked for us, and as soon as the referral bonus was grasped, they both left.
Yep.
I think it's coincidence.
Right.
I don't think it was anything that was planned, but still, nonetheless,
we're going to get them.
So, but with that being said, referral and word of mouth is a great way to get team members.
You struck me with your letter.
I knew I'd get you to say it.
No, I know.
All right, folks. The fourth and final, and probably recently one of the most successful ways that we've recruited team members is through staffing agencies.
Yeah.
They have their pitfalls.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between a staffing agency and a temporary agency where they're just sending you a day laborer.
Yes.
And, there's a difference there.
Yes, there is. And they both have their purposes. I can honestly say the only real pitfall with staffing agencies that we've used is nobody ever really is here a year later.
That's
they fill our voids, our quick voids. We would have had one that would have been successful, but unfortunately he had to move.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we don't have anybody on our staff that's been here a year.
No.
That came from a staffing
We've
agency.
had people that we're going to come back, and then never do.
Now, don't get me wrong. 8 months, I find that an average team member stays engaged and wants to stay at their current employer about 8 months. That's about what we get out of new team members. It seems like year one, they're like, okay, I don't really know. And then when we do get that retention, they come back. It seems like after winter, if they've been laid off and just waiting, it kind of lights a fire under them. They end up coming back prepared and ready to go, and things click a little bit better at the beginning of year two. Year two is really important.
They tend to take off and they know they want to be doing it, and it works out a little bit better.
Well, it's an industry that, just like construction and roofing, sometimes you can work and sometimes you can't. And when you can, you got to save your money and not go hog wild and, oh crap, I had 20 hours of overtime. I'm going to go spend it all on a new couch. No, put that in a savings account, because in a month, the hours are going to be a little bit lower. You may only get freaking 60 total hours, and that those extra overtime hour money might have gotten you through the grocery store. Because I mean, $100 worth of groceries 3 years ago is $300 worth of groceries now. So
Probably more than that.
I think there was a gentleman Anthony, I need you to find me out how far did $100 worth of groceries get you 3 years ago?
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
All right.
While he's looking for that, I'm going to continue on. Sometimes with the staffing agencies or the temporary workers, issues that you may come into is immigrants, some that may or may not be documented.
And you also run into people with mental issues or drug addiction. It's specifically with the day laborers. We've had interesting people come in with mental health issues. One guy thought he was a ninja and was doing backflips in our parking lot 5 minutes after walking in. And then another guy, I had a wrestling match with himself in a porta potty and then wandered off into the woods of Kentucky, and we never saw him again.
Or what about the gentleman that we got him a full-time job and it was just too much on week one? He'd worked his butt off for the whole length of the contract.
500 hours?
Well, all right, Anthony, you got a number for me?
I don't know about groceries specifically, but 3 years ago, July of 2021, $100 was about $115. So $100 now is about $115 back then.
I'm not sure about that number
We can debate that
when
later.
it comes with groceries, because the commodities have went up way more than other things like eggs and
that's just the inflation calculator. It's not based on-
that's the cumulative
Yeah.
everything.
Let's see, 3 years ago, a 6-pack of craft beer wasn't. I'm sorry.
3 years ago,
I'm trying to think.
I'll just go to Michigan. But with the immigrants, sometimes with temporary workers, you also get inmates, and you may not know that they were inmates.
Yeah.
And not all the temps, like we have to specifically tell the temporary or staffing agencies that we cannot have people that have had sexual crimes because we work around schools.
Yeah.
Same with violent, like a rehabilitated violent offender, we can give a chance to, but there are certain things. I mean, we work around schools.
Schools, I mean,
churches,
we're on people's their property, their home. So,
Yep.
it's just us doing our due diligence to make sure we're not bringing someone. I mean, we may be funny looking, but we don't want to bring somebody that's unsafe to be on their property around. You never know when there's kids. You never know when there's elderly people.
So staffing agencies also, before we conclude, staffing agencies are really, really expensive.
Indeed.
$15 an hour, a $15 hour employee, you're paying almost $21 in total to the staffing agency. But they cover the taxes, the workers' comp, and all of that.
Right.
All right.
Pros and cons.
I think we got our point across. You ready to conclude?
I guess so. Is it food time? I'm hungry.
So, yeah. So there you have it, folks. You never know when or where that next great team member is going to come from.
Yep.
You have to keep a flow of talent coming in the door.
Continue training.
You need more in than out. And unfortunately, we're at that neutral point because it seems like this time of the season,
Well, it's summertime. It's nice out. Everybody wants to be out swimming and
or
doing
it's
stuff.
hot and I'm not doing that.
I'm melting.
So, but anyways, you have to get out there. You have to constantly recruit. You got to constantly have talent coming through the door. You got to try to keep your talent from going to your competitors. But if you do, make sure that they're going to your competitors better than when they came to you.
Yep.
Right?
There you go. Yep.
So thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. At Brunner's Lawn and Services, we aim to serve our clients and our team with integrity, dependability, and respect. And Andy knows what's coming next. So Andy, at Brunner's, what matters?
Satisfaction.
That's right. Satisfaction matters. All right, folks. Be cool. Peace out.